Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Monsoons the Rock. It's the Shits Podcast, so we either shooting the shit, starting some shit, or picking up what shit left off. I'm your host, Monsoons the Rock, the coolest cat you heard thus far, aka DJ Booty Rubber, like no other. If you don't believe me, man, go ask your mother. And man, check it out. This week, y'all, we got two very special guests to the podcast. Like I always tell y'all, everybody that come on the podcast is special, and it ain't like slow special, cheese bus, back of the bus special, you know what I'm saying? This is special, but everybody is special. But anyway, this week, I have the pleasure of talking to two phenomenal vocalists who have a dope song. Like, the song is dope, it's soulful, it's I want to say seductive. It's a lot. And I definitely think it's something y'all should check out. Y'all make sure y'all put your hands together for the one, the onlys, because it's two of them. Jenee Jones and Tandaleria.
Thank you.
What up? How y'all feel?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
Good. I can't complain. Not at all. Before I go any further, I do want to give some shouts out to anybody out there that feel like they need counseling or some type of therapy. It's a number you can call. So the number is 708-524-2582. So you can call the number 24/7. If you just feel like you need somebody to talk to, call the number, because I feel like mental health is very important. And sometimes, like in our community, in the Black community, we try to be so shy about it or prideful. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you can be fucked up. Y'all need somebody to talk to. So if you need somebody to talk to, call that number, y'all, straight up. Also, mass shout outs to GNMC Clothing, dope clothing, hoodies, hats, t-shirts, sweats. Make sure y'all check them out. Google it, GNMC Clothing Brand. You can also find them on Instagram. Yeah, on Instagram. And just hit them up. So, with that being said, Tandaleria and Jenee Jones. All right. I always like to do a check-in with our guests. So since y'all are the phenomenal guests this week, how y'all week, man?
I've had a pretty good week, Mr. Booty Rubber. Pretty good.
That's good. That's real good.
Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a good week.
Yeah. All right. So I know y'all artists because I heard y'all work, right? So when I ask this question, I think people think about it in a different way. So when I ask you what you're working on, I don't mean like what you're working on like in the studio. I mean like what you're working on with yourself, like emotionally and mentally. What y'all working on this week?
Okay. Should I go first?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What I have been working on this week, and it's interesting that you say that, because these are the type of conversations Tandaleria and I have all the time. One of the things that I am working on is making sure that I am being vocal and showing up for myself 100%. I don't care who don't like it. I'm going to be respectful in saying what I need to say, but I am absolutely placing boundaries, and it is what it is.
That's dope. I like to hear that. I think it's necessary. Everybody needs to have their boundaries, and I like the fact that you said it respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to, take anything away from you, but this is how I roll. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't honor that, then respectfully get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real. This week I am working on keeping it together. That's what I'm working on. I had to clean up, get my space together so I can get my mind together so I can just be together, basically.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. So my first question is, where y'all from?
I'm from Chicago.
Okay. What's side?
West side. Jenee is from Gary.
Okay. That's what's up. I was looking at the background. I'm like, they don't look like Gary, but I know that's.
Wait, not too much now. Not too much.
It's all good. how did y'all get started performing and creating music?
Well, I don't even say a few, quite a few years ago at this point, I actually met Tan at one of our mutual friends at her performance. She sang somewhere, and I was asked to do background vocals for her, and I did. And I saw somebody come out of the crowd, and it was Tan, and she walked up to me and said, "Hey, my name is Tan. I'm Sessions with Tandaleria." and we hit it off from there, and we have been friends ever since. And it's been a pleasure making music with her.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
I can hear the strings in the background, the music playing in the background, like, awesome. Can individually, can y'all remember y'all first studio session?
Yes, I can. It was very interesting. Because it was my vocal director from high school. She ended up being my vocal coach, and one of my first sessions, it was more so tracking, was with her and her partner, and it got real ugly because I had to pay all his money, and he never gave me the beat that he was making, and it became a whole ordeal. But it wasn't a good experience. I just remember it not being a great experience. But that was more of a tracking session, and my actual first studio session, I was just really nervous.
Okay.
It was fun. I remember being really, 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 really nervous when I actually was recording. I'm like, oh, this is different. That was like in 2011. Yeah, like 2011.
So what do you find yourself doing differently now compared to that first session?
Well, one, I have a lot more resources, so I don't have to be like, let me pay you and then chase you down for my beat. I don't got to do that anymore. So there's that. So that's gone. I'm not as nervous, more so because I understand it. And then now, from then to now, I'm also a recording engineer. So now I also completely, for the most part, understand the ins and outs of everything. Because I remember my first project that I released, the mix is awful. And I remember being proud of it, right, at the time. And then into it like, oh, this is not hidden right, and not knowing why. And then I had to, took some years, learned how to do whatever. I'm like, okay, this is the problem. Now I know how to I know, even if I'm not the one engineering, I know how to explain it. And now I know what works for me when I'm in the studio, what my order of operation is with recording and everything. So
okay. Jenee, what about you?
As far as
can you remember your first studio session?
My first studio session was actually for my 16th birthday.
Okay.
My mom bought me a studio session for 3 of my friends and myself.
Okay.
For my birthday, and I recorded some terrible song that exists somewhere in the ether.
Right.
And yeah, but as Tan has stated, it took a lot of growth, a lot of trial and error to get to the place that we are at today. And I would even like to say that the pandemic really, even though the pandemic was a very stressful time for everybody, during the pandemic, Tan and I, we were on the internet every single night, just getting it, trying to write music and send stuff to producers back and forth to Atlanta or LA or wherever the case may be, because we needed it to be heard. And that's really how we kind of got on the path of getting the music to where it is now, because at that time, I don't think Tan had taken any of the engineering sessions or lessons yet. And we were like, these songs are amazing, but I don't know why we're not getting any placements like we should. Something's not right. And so she took it upon herself to go and get some lessons. And after that, we've been cooking with grease.
That's super dope.
Yeah.
So speaking of such, I want to talk about the song titled Untitled.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I had been working with the other artists on the song, D. Lyles.
Okay.
We met through Rex Hardy. We met through Rex Hardy because they were recording something together. But I've been working on things with D. Lyles, and I liked the music he was doing. And I remember telling Jenee, and I was like, I think y'all should work together. I think y'all would be really, really, I think y'all voices will blend well. I think y'all got a similar somewhat vibe kind of, or appreciation for music. So I told Lyles the same thing, and I set up a time for them to come together, and then we met up in the studio. I think it's Blockhouse Studios. I think that's the name of it. We went over there and we started writing it. We were all tired. I remember that. I remember all of us had a long day that day. I think we met up at 7. I think we were in the studio until about 3.
Yeah.
Writing this song. Just writing it, just getting like the bones done, like in the, mumbles and then lyrics, and like we was like, we're not leaving out of here till this song is done, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's interesting because when we got there, first of all, we were eating, okay, because I need some food before I do anything. But while we were in there eating, Lyles was playing a track in the background.
Okay.
And it was sounding really good. And Tam was like, I'm going to go back here and see what it is that he's messing around with. And surprisingly, this was a track that so many people had passed up on and said that they didn't like it.
Yeah.
And we immediately knew, like, this is what we need to be working on. This is it. This is it. And as soon as he turned the microphone on, we got in there, like she said, and I just threw some mumbles in there, and now we have Untitled. So
which is dope. I was just playing it for a friend of mine, and she was like, that's like super sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, thank you. So I appreciate y'all for that alley-oop.
I'm glad we could help.
So with that being said, like, what are y'all thoughts on the current state of songwriting? What do you think it has progressed? Do you think it's in a recession? I mean, like, I'll let y'all say it because y'all the songwriters.
Would you like for me to answer this first, or you, friend?
You ready? Go ahead.
As I have stated since we've been on this call, Monsoon, for the 13 minutes and 17 seconds.
Okay.
These are the type of conversations that we have all the time.
Right.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, first of all, I respect all of the singer-songwriters that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is not necessary. It is an easy thing because it is a gift that is given to you. But when it is not respected, that can put you in a really messed up place.
Yes.
However, what I will say is, I have noticed in previous conversations we have had, I believe that a lot of the songs have been written from a perspective of a specific maybe type of person, or even men. And because of, and that's no digs, but
it kind of sounds like it. It kind of sounds like it.
However, the divine feminine is absolutely necessary. And because that has been missing from a lot of this music, you don't have the men crying no more on songs.
That is true.
You don't have that no more, because the women are not all the ones in the studio assisting writing these songs,
Right.
And it's necessary in order for that emotion and that feeling to be there. And in my humble opinion, I think that you have a lot of people that are in the industry that, of course, should be there, and there are some that should not. And some of those that should not be in the industry, there are a lot of people that come from the streets, which I respect and understand. And if that's what you're supposed to be doing with music, then you go for it. Right. But some people are in it just to make a quick dollar. They're able to, they know how to flip a little bit to get a little bit more. And that's what they're doing with the music. So they're not taking the time that's necessary to actually cultivate a song and piece it together and sit with it, because they're too busy making hits. We don't need hits. We need something that's going to be long lasting. And that's what we've been trying to do.
Yeah.
That's super dope. I love the way you broke that down. Like, when you said, like, men don't cry and off of songs anymore. I mean, if they do cry, they're crying because of their guys, you know, because they thinking about losing. And no Diddy.
No shade, all tears.
No shade.
Right, no shade. You know what I'm saying? I just think that it's different times. It's different times, and I think for me, I definitely appreciate those songs that can evoke, if I'm using that word correctly, can evoke the emotions where you really have to think, where it kind of makes you vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be out here just in your car just crying all the goddamn time. But you know what I'm saying? But it's cool to have, you know what I'm saying, to have some type of feelings to get in touch with it. You know what I'm saying? So I like the way you broke that down.
Yeah.
Can y'all speak on the risk of getting into a new relationship? And I want to go off this line that I heard in the song, not knowing what's to come from the relationship. Can you really speak about the risk of getting into a new relationship and you don't know what the fuck gonna happen?
It's definitely like it's scary, which is the premise of the song. Like it's scary, because especially when you're coming from a hurt past, and then like you're like, I really like this person, but also I don't want to get my feelings hurt again.
I don't want to bust no car windows.
Yeah, right. It's like I don't want nobody taking care. Right, exactly. So it definitely, and with the full project we're doing, a lot of the songs kind of touch on like the scariness of like jumping into something new, and being old and kind of. I just had this conversation the other day with somebody. Like it's relinquishing control over the and understanding that you're gonna get hurt. It may not be intentional. People hurt each other.
It's not appealing to look at it that way.
I know, right? Right? It's scary, right? And that's what makes it scary, because you be like, oh, but I don't want it. But it's like, but when you open your heart up to being vulnerable, it happens. And it don't even gotta be intentional, right? You're gonna hurt each other unintentionally. And the beauty of it is growing or learning from from your previous things, instead of leaning on or leaning into how much it hurt in the past. There were beautiful moments that were there too, right? I know that's what makes it scary jumping into something new, is because all we keep seeing is how it went wrong, and it's like, but wait, there was, remember the cuddles and the walks, and you got +1, go places, and the long talks, like that stuff. Like if we focus, I think if you focus more on that stuff, then it doesn't have to be as scary, because then you know what that feels like. And then you also know when it's time to move, because you've done this before. So you don't have to hurt yourself again. Okay, this is no longer feeling good, so it's time for me to
move on.
Right. To exit.
It's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. Respectfully, it's time for me to go. Respectfully, it's time for me to go. Or it's time for you to go. Right. Right. Yeah, respectfully. Get your shit and you gotta go.
Right.
Okay, so you also have a line in the song that says, be everything I need, I just need to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would that process look like individually for y'all? Like, to really be sure. What is some, like, how would that look? What would make you confident, like, okay, cool, I can do this. I'm willing to do this.
I don't think that I don't think anyone knows for sure ever. I think to a certain degree you have an understanding, but as she said, when you're a person that has experienced hurt and disappointment, I think everyone in the back of their mind has that question on if it's going to work. But I also believe that that is when faith comes in. And one thing that my mom has always mentioned or always taught me is you always go the extra mile and do the best and you give your all. That way, in the event something doesn't work out, you can never say, oh, there was something I could have done better. You did your part. If you weren't enough for that person, then that's their problem. That has nothing to do with you.
Right. I like that.
Yeah. For me too, consistency. I do try to pay attention to how consistent you are before making a leap. Again, that sometimes changes, right? Like you get into the relationship and then all that goes out the window. Sometimes that happens, but I try to pay attention to consistency and more so. I know I'm sure when I'm ready. It ain't got nothing to do with the other person. I need to make sure I'm mentally, spiritually okay before entering something new. So when I'm in a place where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to try this again. I'm ready to let go of the pain, lean into the joy, right? And lean into how I'm ready for that. So I'm going to now I'm sure, right? Does that make sense? Like I'm sure when I'm sure we got to do with them. Yeah.
I think it definitely makes sense. And for me, I feel like the older I get, things are starting to look different. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think the expectations kind of change. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially for a man. So I think the myth sometimes is like, we're just always about the physical portion of it, right? But for me, like the older you get, you start to think like, well, what happens? How do you feel after that shit is done? You get what I'm saying? Like, do I really want you to leave immediately, or am I cool with you staying around for a couple of more hours? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, I think that's the part, like, when you start to say, like, am I ready to, like, really be with somebody, to have somebody, like, really occupy my space? You see what I'm saying? Because I think that's huge. You know what I'm saying? Because, sex only lasts so long. You know what I'm saying? You can take the honey pack, all that shit all you want to. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, shit dies down. Right. Eventually the shit dies down. And then you got to sit with that motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? And we got to occupy each other's space. So it's kind of like, how does that look? You see what I'm saying? So when I listened to the song, like I thought about all that. Like I was like, man, just the thought of re-entering the potential to possibly be excited and stimulated, or possibly be hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I really dig the song. Like I think it's super dope. It's super dope. Who did the production? Well, I'm sorry. I want to make sure I got his name right. Who did the production on it?
The music was D Loud.
Okay, cool. Have you ever seen a healthy relationship?
I think that's perspective, but yeah.
I love to ask that question because I love to see the response from different genders, different cultures. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes people ask, well, what do you mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's the characteristics? Well, but why would you say yeah?
Because again, I think it's perspective. It's if it's healthy because it's what I would find healthy, or what I would consider like, oh, I want something like this. This would be cute. That's why it's both. So it's not what I consider healthy may not be what Jenee or you consider healthy, but for me, it's perspectively. I think it's a healthy relationship. I've seen some that I consider healthy.
And what's healthy to you?
Communication is a really big one, especially when times are hard, and learning how to maneuver through those hard times. And reciprocity is a big thing too to me for a healthy relationship. Watching you know, it's not one person giving more than the other.
Mhm.
Like I said, those are the main things for me: communication and reciprocity. That makes it, to me, makes a relationship look healthy. It was what I would consider a healthy relationship.
Okay. Jenee, what about you?
I would agree with some of the things that she stated. I would also like to add comprehension. Because just because communication is happening in a relationship doesn't mean the other person understands what you're saying.
Correct.
That is true.
And
that is true.
that is a really big problem. Just because you can read don't mean you understand what you just read, you know?
Right. That is
Right.
So I think that is, for me, is number one. And then I would also say emotional maturity on both ends. Because you all can have conversations and really get into it, or you all be at a really good space. But that emotional maturity is what, in my opinion, is going to really, to a certain degree, be foundational for a relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody got to talk the other one down. Like,
somebody got to talk
down all the time. Like, somebody
can't be on the red bench,
right? Because it's gonna happen. You're not gonna be each other's piece all the time. Like, really, it's gonna happen. And when it does happen, you know, it does take, like you said, emotional maturity for at least one of y'all to be like, hey, let's bring this back. Let's figure out another way to let's have a conversation. Let's approach this differently. Let's figure out what the problem is.
Right.
Both of us just rah.
I would even say both need it, like you said, because if that emotional maturity is not there, you can tell me you did XYZ, and if I'm not in a space that I am mature, we really I'm getting back, because I'm gonna get my lick back. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think that
talking about the pettiness.
Yeah, but when y'all are both there in that space and recognize that this is why we're together and we want to do this, and you both desire to want to make it work, then I think.
I for sure think both people need emotional maturity. I also know, just realistically, as many years of therapy and spiritual counseling, everything I've had, I still have my moments. So that's why we both need to have it, because if I fall off the horse and I can't bring myself down, you know, I may need you to remind me, hey, we're not doing that. You're right. Let me down. Yeah.
I think that's a very good point. And then I think, like what Jenee said about the comprehension piece.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you hear what I'm saying, but do you really understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to nod your head and be like,
I heard you.
Right. Like, you heard me, but it's like, but did you really hear me? You know what I'm saying? So I think that part is huge in this. And as far as the emotional maturity, I think there's a lack of emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you have that, there's the potential for things to get blown out of proportion. Like, it's harder for me to take your criticism, you know. So now my guards are like up. They're like super flared up. And no matter what you say to me, it's gonna come off as defensive. You know what I'm saying? It makes it hard.
Yeah, and being able to communicate too. Like, today's not a good day. You know, like it don't gotta be a thing. Like, today is I've been having an interesting day. Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know, so we can, you know, how to move forward in this. We're not gonna do that whole I'm fine. Everything's it's not, because now you all need to understand what's going on, you know. So I think that's important. That's all of that is like to what Jenee saying, all that. That's a healthy relationship, how I see it anyway.
Okay. I want to talk about I want to say the video about the speed dating. I thought it was hilarious. How did that come about?
We were having a group discussion, me, Jenee, and D. Lyles, about how we want to do it. Lyles says something about, cuffing season approach. I'm like, that's true. And we were trying to figure out what to do to market it. And so then I was sitting there, I think I was high. And then I was like, oh, okay, we could do a speed dating series. One of my homies, Bianca Shaw, she released a project called Get a Job. And so she did like a little series where she worked with corporate, she did a bunch of random jobs. So it was like she was doing OnlyFans in one video, another video she was driving Lyft, another video, like it was that. And I thought that was so creative. And I was like, okay, what if we did a speed dating series and it leads up to y'all meeting, right? And but what it is y'all finna have some interesting dates. Like it's gonna be some really wild characters that y'all meet.
Right.
And I called my homie Derek Dow, who directed and wrote the script for everything, and then my other homie Dami, who's the DP and editor of everything, and had them come together and create the Quick Spark speed dating series.
Can either one of you speak to a very memorable date that you either chose to remember or try your hardest to forget?
Wait. Okay, I'll go first because I know what Tan's gonna be and hers is way funnier. So a day that I went on, I hope if this person ever sees this video, I hope they're not offended, but this is So I went on a date with this guy who had been wanting to go on a date with me. And don't get me wrong, he was really sweet. He was really handsome, but he also wasn't necessarily my type, but I was giving him a shot. Okay. Yeah. One of his family members had a wedding and he asked me if I would go. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to go to a wedding with you. And I was dressed up real cute, I'm put together. And I don't know if in Chicago y'all had it was this store out here in Gary called Tom Molesca's. And they had these granddaddy walking suits, right? And they was like linen walking suits with these crazy patterns. And look almost zoot suitish, you know what I'm saying? And he came to pick me up. And I already gave him a pass because I was not feeling that outfit, okay? Because it was like the laughing stock of the area if some young person went in there and bought it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give him a shot. And then for me, it's the small things that be really turning me off, y'all. I looked at his, he had the suit on, but under this suit, he had, instead of a wife beater on, he had some t-shirt, some screen t-shirt that he turned like inside out. And I know this sounds really bad, y'all, but I was like, you didn't need that t-shirt on, bro. You could have just went naked. Why do you have this on? And it just really turned me out because I already wasn't really feeling it. And then that kind of made
so it really didn't take much. You know what I'm saying? Like,
much, and it's crazy, but in all honesty, all of the guys that I have ever dated, whether we were in a full-blown relationship with one another or it was not, I don't have nothing bad to say about the men that I've dated in my lifetime. They don't get me wrong, they gave me some doozies, but I also recognize that we were all at different places and times in life, and you reacted the way that you did. So, yeah, but go ahead, Tan.
What's my most interesting? Well, the only one is the more recent one because I had to. Anyway, so I was on the dating app and I met this person. He was really cool. We had a really great conversation, very handsome. We were supposed to go on a date. He tells me prior to the date in advance that he had jaw replacement surgery. I said, interesting, because I couldn't tell. And that's all he really said was I had jaw replacement surgery because he had something happened in his whatever. Oh, he said they put a piece of his hip in his lower left side of his jaw, and I was like, oh, I hope this man don't look like Kanye after the accident. And I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna be fine. Like then, like, cause me and my cousin went through his pictures to try to see if we can see is this before or after his surgery. We was trying to figure that out. Right. And then I met up with him, and I was like, okay, he looks decent. And then we were talking, and I could tell something because he would cover up his mouth a lot, and then he laughed like big, and I realized the whole entire bottom left half of his mouth had no teeth. It was just completely no teeth down here, and I was like, oh.
Shit.
I guess that makes sense because there's no teeth in the hip bone, right? So I guess that makes sense. He said that the first time they gave him a replacement jaw from someone else or something, and his body wouldn't take it. So then they put the hip bone there, and then so they're trying to see if his body would take the hip bone. I guess before they add the teeth. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting, and I tried to be cool because I'm like, he's cool, Tan. You know, don't be so shallow. Even though in my head, I'm like, I just can't. The man don't got no teeth. Right, but I tried to be cool. You know, we text a little bit, just it. But I knew I was like, I don't see myself being able to be attracted to him. But he invited me over to his house like a couple days later, and I was like, because he lived around the corner, I live far, and I was like, okay, we can at least be friends. Maybe it's good to have a friend you can kick it with. And I went over to his house. And no shade to low income housing because that's not the issue. I pulled up, it was the low income housing. It said it on the marquee. This is low income housing. I go into the lobby. Yeah, on the building, low income housing. And then I go into the lobby to the elevator, and there's a big pile of dog shit. And I just was like, you got to be kidding me. And I remember staring at it, and then a voice in my head was like, Tan, turn around. I'm like,
your side.
Don't be like that. I was like, don't be like that because, you know, this is just an apartment, right? This ain't his apartment. This is the apartment building. Right. And so I remember going up into his apartment. He had a studio apartment. I went in there, and I remember thinking, oh no, especially because I had on shorts that day. And I was like, oh, okay. And his couch was like this multicolored couch, but it was like stains and had an odor. He had a cat, and the cat hair was everywhere, and the cat was all over. It was like the cat was all over me, so then the fur was all over me, and then he tried to like touch me or something, and because I didn't want to do anything with him, especially not in this disgusting apartment, that like an attitude and sat in because against the studio, so his bed was next to the couch, and then he sat on his bed away from me because he was mad about it. I went to the bathroom, and his bathroom had like beard hair stuck on the wall or whatever. It was disgusting. I said, okay, I gotta get up out of here. And then I just was like, no, this is fun. I'm gonna go. I blocked him as soon as I got to the car. I was like, we're not doing this no more.
Damn. Look. All right. Shit. I mean, gotta step your game up. At least make sure your crib clean, huh?
Gotta clean like a minimum. I even asked him, I said, you know that there's a pile of dog shit. He said, yeah, that's been there since this morning. I said, oh, okay.
Nobody wanted to get that, huh?
Right. Nobody felt like they should pick it up. Everybody just said, it ain't my problem. It's not my dog. That's okay.
Exactly. Okay. I got a serious question, right? Mm-hmm. So since we're talking about dating and, you know, the risk of hopping into relationships with people. Mm-hmm. So here's the situation. You have somebody that you are physically attracted to. Like, they get you. You know what I'm saying? When you see them, you like, yeah, you get it. You know? Mm-hmm. When you talk to them, the conversations are stimulating conversations and they treat you right. So you're thinking like, okay, cool. I can move forward with this person, right? But then you find out he a bucket boy. Like he plays buckets.
Literal bucket boy. Okay.
Yeah, bucket boy. Right. You're a bucket boy. Do you move forward with it?
Does he have a job outside of playing the buckets, or is that all?
No, but he make decent money off the buckets.
Well, we bucketing together, baby.
Okay, it's like, can he pay his bills with this bucket?
Okay, can he take care of his life?
You know I'm gonna say, yep. He found a very decent intersection, and he can pay. Would you still be with him?
I would. However, this is with the intention of him not playing the buckets forever. Yeah, and what I mean by that, okay, is your dream well, unless you want to just be the best bucket boy in the world,
Right.
Then what we doing to get you there? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if there is more potential for you, and this women tend to see potential in men and try to fix things. But if there is real potential that is there, and I see that you are actually doing what you need to do in order to be bigger than what you are, then I will do what I can to assist you with getting to your next. Okay. But if you are just being the bucket boy and you're okay with just being that and not being the best at it, then I'm not your girl.
Okay. I like that. I like that honest answer.
Yeah.
What about you, Tandaleria?
Some probably most so similar. I'm learning to stay out of stuff. So I've learned to don't give your gift or power away so quickly. So like Jenee said, if you're aspiring to something, I know what I want for my life and how I envision it looking. So with that being said, if you aspire for something more, cool, we can work together. Like she said, I think that women, when we do typically come in and try to help, push to the next level, but I'm only doing that if you want that. If that's not what you want, then I'm going to, we can be friends. We can do
that. Okay. Shifting gears, mm-hmm. Who are some of y'all musical influences?
Ooh, for me, I would say The Emotions. I would say Big Crit.
Oh,
I would say Victoria Monet.
Dope.
I would say I went to a performing arts school, so we learned a lot of Negro spiritual music. And one of the people that I fell in love with was Moses Hogan. He was an arranger. Okay. Those would be off top the people, and Beyonce, of course. Right. Those would be the influences for me for sure.
Okay.
Mine are a lot of old school soulful artists. My mama listened to a lot of Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight is one of my all-time favorites. I feel like people sleep on Gladys. But what I love about Gladys and her music is how emotionally connected her songs it is basically, from the background arrangements to like one of my favorite songs of hers is I Feel a Song in My Heart Again, because of the changes in the song, how it gets real dramatic at one point, and then when it gets to the hook and she's happy, the music changes. That's I think people sleep on Gladys Knight and how phenomenal she is. But Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, I love artists who Jasmine Sullivan, any people who put up it's not just a song, it's an experience. That's what I like about Kendrick Lamar. It's not just a song, it's an experience. So people who create experiences in music are the ones and it doesn't even matter the genre. Those are my top.
That's dope. That's dope. I'm a big fan of Big Crit, and definitely Jasmine Sullivan. I think she's an awesome songwriter. Yeah, definitely. Before we end this, I want to play a game real quick, and it's called 4 for 4, right? Okay. So basically, I give you a word or a phrase, and you respond with 4 words. You can only respond with 4 words.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, because this take a lot of counting, Sometimes people just blurt shit out, and I be like, "Nigga, that was 8 words." You know what I'm saying?
4 words a piece, or 4 words all together?
4 words. No, I'm gonna give Jenee 1. You won. Yeah. All right. All right. So I'm going to go with you first, Jenee.
No. I need the rules again.
Only respond. I'm going to give you either a word or a phrase, and you can only respond with 4 words.
Got it.
So let's just say, so let's say if the word was Donald Trump, I probably would say, we are fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So shit like that. All right. So I'm going to go with you first, Jenee.
Okay.
Bad dates.
Bad dates. Everybody has them.
Oh, you broke up everybody, huh? Everybody.
Because it's technically compound. Yeah, okay.
Works for me. Works for me. Tandaleria.
Mm-hmm.
Low income housing.
Pay attention to signs.
There we go. There we go. Jenee. Summertime.
Always need the lake.
Ooh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Tandaleria. Heartbreak.
A learning experience for all.
Are you combining for all?
Yep.
She said what she said.
Okay. All right. I'm not judging. I'm not judging at all.
We listen and we don't judge.
I feel you on that. Jenee, dirty socks.
Put them in washing machine.
Command it again. All right.
Put them in washer.
Put them in washer. There you go. Leah, last one. Untitled.
Uncertainty for the future.
Wow. Dope. I like that. I appreciate y'all playing it, and I also appreciate y'all giving me y'all time, because I always tell people time is way more important. It's way more valuable. I don't know important, but it's way more valuable than money. You know what I'm saying? You can get money back, can't get time back at all. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let people know where they can find y'all at, what y'all got coming up, performances, Instagram pages, Facebook pages, TikTok, all that.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having us. We sincerely appreciate this, because your time is valuable as well.
All right.
Thank you.
But what we have coming up, we have been releasing different episodes to the Quick Sparks. I actually just released the second episode on my page this evening or earlier today, and they can find that at Jenee Jones Sings on all platforms.
Okay. Hold on for 1 second. Make sure I spell this right. That ain't right.
No, who's John?
John David Graham.
Yes, that is correct.
There you go.
Okay. Tandaleria, what about you?
Same difference. We're releasing the series. The song is out. I'll be performing at City Winery on January 21st. Yeah, it's a rarity. It's a very rare experience. It's like I don't really perform. But yeah, I'll be performing at City Winery on January 21st. I got, on top of this project I'm doing with Jenee, I got several other artists who are releasing projects or songs that I've written in this upcoming year that will be coming out as well. And you can find me either at Sessions with Tandaleria or at Master Plan Tan. Everything is on one of those 2 pages.
I want to make sure. Hopefully, I got this right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Sessions with Tandaleria. Yep.
First try.
Yes.
You got the name right. I'm
yeah.
Like, you know, and I'm glad you remember, because typically people don't remember how to pronounce it. I'm doing it again, so I'm still impressed. You know.
You know, and hey, you know what? Give a mad shout out to CPS Education. Goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? They did something right. You know, they did something right. Yeah, once again, I'd like to thank y'all for y'all time, and really thank y'all for y'all talent. The song is dope. I'm saying that with all sincerity. You know, the person that I let listen to it, she like it was. She
all
like,
right. You got a good time. Okay.
I definitely appreciate the song. It's and I always like to hear good music. You know what I'm saying? And for me, having the opportunity to say that I was able to sit down and talk with these wonderful individuals, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing for me. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all time, y'all talent, and the creators are needed. You know, y'all the ones that keep people sane. You know, and I definitely agree with what you said earlier about the music that's needed that make motherfuckers want to cry. You know what I'm saying? We can't be fighting all the goddamn time. You know what I'm saying? You know, cry sometimes, nigga. You know, please, you cry your cotton. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing wrong with it. Yo, if y'all got anything that's coming up, you know what I'm saying, hit me up. I'll definitely promote it on the platform, and I know I'm gonna be seeing y'all again. You know?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for platforms like this that give us an opportunity to share and talk about our music. As you know, especially being a creative and especially being independent artist, is not a lot of platforms that give us that opportunity. So thank you.
Oh, no problem. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Keep making that dope shit. You know? and watch out for the dog shit in the apartment.
Watch where you're going.
Shout out to all the dudes out there. If y'all having somebody over, clean up the fucking apartment.
Clean the house.
Clean that at minimum. Clean up.
At least spray. Get some plug-ins, my nigga. Straight up. You know, they go a long way. For real. Y'all be cool and stay blessed, and much success to y'all in the future. Real talk.
Thank you. You as well.
No problem. Later.
Bye.
Peace. Yo, that was dope, y'all. That was dope. Shout out to my guests coming through, kicking it with me, y'all. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Check them out with everything they got going on. The song, hey, when I say the song Untitled is dope, it's dope. It's dope as hell. I mean that. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this, man. I don't know. I don't know who need to hear this, but live in the moment. Live in the moment and pace yourself. Try not to overthink and just enjoy what's in front of you. For real. You know, because like I said, time is valuable. You don't want to waste it. So enjoy it. Don't overthink. Pace yourself. It's a lot of beautiful stuff out there. It's a lot of beautiful minor things out there that you can experience and have a wonderful day. And always remember, y'all, the dots will connect. They will connect. You got to believe that. So anyway, I want to give a mad shout out to the family. Joey, Bryce, Jalen, Smoke Diggy Dog, Mama. That's the cat. That's my cat, y'all. Don't be fronting on me. I got a fucking cat, and her name is Mama. Also, leave y'all with make fans, not followers. Followers to get you clout, fans to get you work. Trust the process. Shout out to my man Decadurs. Shout out to my man Bub G. Shout out to B Carrington. Shout out to my girl Dee Licious. Shout out to the pickpockets, goddammit. It's some major shit coming up, y'all. And shameless plug, y'all make sure y'all check out my new single, y'all. That Auntie's Joint. It's on all streaming platforms. It's called That Auntie's Joint. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out. And make sure y'all check out the podcast, the Shits Podcast, on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast at, we on there, goddammit. So make sure y'all check it out. And I will see y'all around, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for supporting. And shout out to my guests, Tandaleria and Jenee Jones. Had a dope time, dope conversation. And I'll holler at y'all later, y'all. Peace.